I'm just coming to you guys doing a really quick live. You guys know I do not normally talk behind my avatar, but I am because I will be going live later on today um, about Angelica. So I'm just bringing you guys an update about Kathleen Moore. She was found. I am going to play for you guys first um, before they found out that it was her body. Her mother actually spoke out, and wanted to show you guys that. So I will put that on screen for you guys right now. Let me play it for you guys.
Kathleen Moore's mother wants her daughter to be remembered for her bubbly and outgoing personality. While her body has not yet been found, her boyfriend, Collin Knapp, is behind bars here at the Pasco County Jail, charged with second-degree murder. While 34-year-old Kathleen Moore has yet to be found, deputies say the blood on her boyfriend's clothing as well as the amount of blood is enough to charge Collin Knapp with second-degree murder.
I truly believe that we all in life have to take a journey, and I just wish that Kathleen's journey didn't stop where it did.
Moore and Knapp were last seen out together November 28th at bars in Largo and Indian Rocks Beach, where they were seen arguing. During the investigation, the sheriff says detectives learned Knapp put clothing in a dumpster at the Port Richey Harold Seltzer Steakhouse, where he works. Eagle 8 HD flying over the county landfill, where deputies were seen combing through the steakhouse's dumpster. Inside, investigators say they found clothing with blood matching Moore.
So yes, there was some blood evidence that was identified as hers on our suspect's pants. However, there's lots of blood that was located during this investigation.
While investigators are pleading with Knapp to reveal where his girlfriend's body is, 8 on Your Side spoke with Moore's mother, Karen, who says she wants her daughter to be remembered for her bubbly and outgoing personality.
And I'm really going to miss her very, very much. I love her with all my heart.
So that was her mother speaking out. I just feel really, really bad for the family. I mean, they spoke of her so highly. And when she went missing, they were on it from the beginning. They knew something was wrong. And now she's found. And to me, the reason why he did not speak was because he already knew that they were going to find her. He already knew they were going to find her. He tried as best as he could to, and forgive me for my voice, guys. You guys know how it is, to hide her body. And I'm just like, why does it have to be that serious for you to take someone's life? So I am going to show you guys the portion of her being found. Excuse me. Just giving you guys the update on this case. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. And once again, this is just a quick live to keep you guys updated on what's going on. And I will be going live later on. I need to drink my tea and stuff. About Angelica.
And also within the past 24 hours.
About Angelica. I wasn't really going to put it out there, but it's out there. So I'll just give you guys the information. I mean, why not? So
I can say.
Let me start this over. Oh, geez.
Kathleen Moore.
There we go.
Family and friends. We know you've been through a lot over the past week or so, and then also within the past 24 hours. I can say, she is deceased. Today, we positively identified her body based on tattoos. Um, Nicole came in around 11:30 this morning that she was discovered in the woods off of Kamala Drive, which is, she was about 50 yards northeast of Collin Knapp's home. And so there's
So, guys, number one, he went to his job to dispose of her phone and all of the bloody items. Her blood was found on his jeans, I believe it is. And they tested that and it came back. They were working hard over the weekend to make that match, and that's how come they were able to get him for second-degree murder without the body. They just needed to find Kathleen. They knew that there was no way that she was going to be alive with the amount of blood that they found. And so this is what he did. Everything is right around his house. He made up that lie about her leaving in an Uber. He knew that wasn't going to work out. So he said, hey, a friend came and got her. But they gave him that extra time to hide her body. And this is where we are now.
very heavily brushed area. She was actually covered. You can almost describe she was definitely covered on purpose to make sure nobody can come upon her. And, even as detectives will tell you, even when you're 2 feet away from her, it's hard to see that her body was there. And I will say, K9 did track that area. But there's several factors that come into it, wind, weather, decomposition. So, they did their best, but that wasn't just a focal point as we were looking at this investigation. There was an investigation. There was numerous places that we had looked at, the dumpster where the cell phone was found, at Sam Seltzer's restaurant, the dumpsters that were brought to a location to go through. And I want to reiterate that there was a lot of evidence that had been found in those dumpsters. And when that was found, there was 14 additional industrial-sized dumpsters that went out there that our detectives combed through. Over 20 detectives were combing through these dumpsters because that's where all the evidence was leading to. But again, I want to thank our citizens.
What I can say is I am very happy at how they handled this, even though, this is the result, but they were on it to find where she was, to collect the evidence. I can say that's one thing I do appreciate about this police department. All right, guys, here we go.
Last night, we put out a plea for help, and they did. At 11:30 this morning, we got the call because citizens were out there helping us. And that's the one thing about Pasco County. Our citizens work with law enforcement. They work side by side with the sheriff's office. That's saying we fight as one. That's all of us. That's the we. And we are going to bring justice for Kathleen. We did that together. I wish to God we could bring her back. She's with God now. She's with the angels. And we pray for her. We pray for her family right now because they're going through so much. But with that, we will bring her justice. We will bring her family justice. That is important. So, I want to thank all the members of our community. I want to thank our detectives for the outstanding work they did. And I just ask right now that we pray for her family. And I also ask that if anybody is in a domestic violence relationship, please use Kathleen's life to learn
Get
from
out
the
of the
fact
situation.
that maybe her life, her sacrifice that she went through is to save somebody else. And it is to save you because you're in that horrible domestic violence relationship. Get out of it. Because there's something.
With that being said, I am going to link the domestic violence awareness. Actually, I'm just going to put it in the description box. And if you are in this situation, let this be an example. They were just together on Thanksgiving. They were on and off again, boyfriend and girlfriend, for about 5 years. But he did have a record. He had, I believe they said, 10 felonies and 9 misdemeanors. They didn't give if they were all convicted on, but he does have violent crimes in his background. So they kind of knew what area they were going in, even though in the beginning they said that, he wasn't a person of interest. And they later said that they did that in order to keep him from running while they gathered evidence. So,
Something positive that can come out of her death is that somebody else will live. So please continue to pray for her. If you're in a horrible relationship, please get out of it. There are resources like Sunrise. We will get you help. With that, is there any questions for myself or Sergeant Rosa?
Can we determine the manner of death at this point?
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Rosa, ROSA. I'm a sergeant with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit. And no, ma'am, to answer your question, it is too early in our investigation to actually determine that or release that information.
Do we anticipate charges being upgraded now that the body has been found?
It's too early to say that, ma'am.
I hope so.
What can you say about the search and canines
I
from the
hope
Pasco
so.
County Sheriff's Office going over this area and not finding her sooner?
I will let the sheriff answer that.
So this is one of those things. It's just one of those
I
things that,
believe he
we're human
answered that
beings.
already.
We did our best. We've done our best. We had drones up. We had deputies out there. We had canines out there. And it's one of those things. She was a very wooded area, covered up. Wind, weather, decomposition, those all play factors in a search. So I'll go back to it. It's everything in life works better when it's a team. And that plead our citizens, we mean it.
Hey,
We want
Shay,
our citizens to work with us.
I was just doing
And
a
that's what
quick
happened. The citizens were out there working with us. And
live.
those dogs do a phenomenal job. But this is the facts of life. We have to work together as a team. And when we work together as a team, those are the things that came together. And we were able to find Kathleen. That was a critical part. But, I'm proud of the work our detectives did. The focus of the investigation actually was those dumpsters. 14 industrial-sized dumpsters.
Wow.
People were, remember, the evidence, the blood-stained clothing was in those dumpsters. We had to search all those dumpsters before they got taken off to landfills. We wanted to make sure that every piece of evidence, God forbid if Kathleen was in one of those dumpsters, that we found her before they were taken out of our community. That was a focus for us. There was no evidence that led us that she was going to be 50 yards into that wood line at the time. What was priority for us was getting into those dumpsters and making sure she was not in there. As horrible, as gruesome as that sounds, it's the truth. And that's what we had to focus on at the time. But as we go back, was that area going to
I definitely commend them on that because that's the last thing that we would have wanted. I'm happy he did not do that and dispose of her like trash, but I really feel like it shouldn't have even came to this point. So let's continue, guys.
be searched again? Yes, because we did our due diligence in those dumpsters. We were going to go back to other areas to keep searching. We know it was critical to find her. We know that it was critical to Bruce Bartlett's office at the state attorney's office to make sure that they get prosecution. And I know, and I heard people, how can you make that arrest? How can the state attorney get a warrant when there was no body? There was a lot of evidence. But we know finding her, 2 reasons. One, most importantly, is for her family. I can't imagine a family, one is knowing she's dead.
Right.
But even worse is not knowing where she is. Second is to make sure we get prosecution, we get justice in this case. So I can understand that part where people say, I can't believe that, how can you not find her? It wasn't the focus at the time because all the evidence led us to believe she may have been in one of those 14 dumpsters.
Can you talk a little bit about the evidence, a little bit more about the evidence that you guys used to make that arrest yesterday? Obviously, we couldn't talk about it because we hadn't found her.
Right.
Does finding her now change that?
And I'll let Sergeant Rosa, because they're the ones going to be working with prosecutors.
So not necessarily, ma'am. So we can tell you that it was more than just the blood on our defendant's pants that led us to the arrest. However, a lot of information we cannot reveal at this time. I will tell you that my unit and my leadership has worked multiple homicide investigations, and our investigations don't stop after an arrest. Our investigations, most of the time in homicides, begin after an arrest. So we were planning on doing multiple other things during this investigation to include researching those woods.
Can you talk a little bit about the tattoos
Hey,
that you
Preach.
used to identify her? Where were those
I
located,
just
and what were those of?
went on
Probably
ahead
out of
and
respect for the family, I'm not going to give you where the tattoos were located, but there were multiple tattoos that specifically identify her.
hey, Preach. Yeah, I know this wasn't a planned live, but I wanted to get this information out before my live later. And so that's why this is just a spare of the moment. But we will definitely talk about this case a lot more later. All right, let's continue.
Give us a time of death or an estimation on when you believe she might have died?
No, ma'am. And at this point, we are working on that right now with different scientists right now to figure that out. But however, we cannot give that. I would be guessing at this point.
Sheriff, I know you had a message for Knapp yesterday. You were pleading with him to say something to help us find her. Obviously, that didn't happen, but now that we found her, any message to him tonight?
Yeah, and I'm going to get that one point. I just want to hit this other part too. Remember also, when this investigation started and it came out of Pinellas and they said that Kathleen was last missing here in Pasco, we didn't assume that she was dead. We assumed that she was alive, and we were searching to find a live person. So those are those things. When you're doing searches, you're moving quick. You're getting places. So I just want to make sure that's out there. A message to the arrested individual in this case. I go back to it again. There is a God. There's a God who knows everything, and he cannot take back. The suspect cannot take back what he did in this case. But what he can do is make something positive going forward. Make it easier on the family. Answer their questions. Answer the why. Because we have the evidence. We have Kathleen now. If he wants to make a positive difference in somebody's life, help the family out. Answer their questions. Give them a little bit of piece of justice back. Give them, don't let them live with that why the rest of their lives. Answer their questions, because that's the only thing right
That's
now.
the least you could do.
Only thing that you could do that would be a positive in
Least
somebody's
you
life.
can do,
Have you guys
Collin.
made contact with Knapp today after you positively identified Kathleen?
No, ma'am. Last time we spoke to Mr. Knapp, he said that he no longer wanted to answer any more questions. So at that point, we stopped.
Is it possible that she could have been moved from a primary location to the second location, or do you believe this is where the crime occurred?
We probably can't answer it at this point. Our investigation is still going. I really can't answer that at this point. I apologize.
You said she was covered. Was it with a blanket? Was it with dirt? She could buried? Can you kind of describe?
So the best way to say that she was covered by the environment outside.
It's a heavily wooded area.
All right. We appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, guys, that's basically what I just wanted to bring to you guys so that you guys were not waiting on that information. Yes, she was found. We will look more into this case. So I will catch you guys later at 5 o'clock, and we will go over Ethan and also Angelica and, talk about a few other things. So love you guys. Bye. I know I never do the whole avatar thing, but I just wanted to bring you guys this information as I was receiving it. I actually received it a little bit earlier and I was like, I don't want to wait anymore. So bye. See you guys later.